Oh. You didn't do that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show.
It's
Friday.
Friday.
Glad you're all here.
We're in mid-Monday form
live
on the
from the
technical
Antelope
side.
Studio.
I swear, it's like a couple of ducks. You know, every day we wake up in a new world. I don't understand why. Yes, admittedly, you have all the responsibility. It, wink, wink, is just a miracle of life when I actually get on the air by myself in the mornings. But yet I sent you in here specifically with the task of having us ready to go. And you give me that generic, nobody's going to cry copyright music, which is just terrible. I would rather you play your ukulele and sing an original Zamfir favorite. Well, I admit that your voice has been below.
Zamfir doesn't play the ukulele, by the way.
No, he plays the pan flute, and he's Canadian. Is he Canadian?
No, he's not.
Is he? If he was Canadian, he would be from where, though? Newfoundland.
Vancouver or Toronto.
Newfoundland.
Or Newfoundland, yeah, with the pan flute, Newfoundland.
He'd be a newfie.
He would be.
All right, folks, back on track. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. Get in this weekend. 21-7-14 blend from American Plant Food. The Wade and Carter proprietary Floratam, St. Augustine.
Did we start yet?
Bermuda. Yeah. Are we not live?
Are we doing this show?
We're doing it. 66 degrees in Victoria under what they call mostly clear skies. Is that different than partly cloudy? I'm being sincere.
No, it's the same thing. It's just a more
positive
spin on it, yes.
I wondered if you went from clear to mostly clear to partly cloudy.
Mostly sunny is partly cloudy.
Okay, see, there you go. High today of 87. Cody's over there like second guessing. I can tell by what I hear in my headphones that we are live on the air on the No Bull Network, on our wonderful mothership. Lilo Arguelles is cringing in his chair at what we might say on a Friday.
No, he doesn't care anymore.
Isn't that something? Isn't it funny how as long as the check clears, you can pretty much do whatever you want? Yeah.
Pretty much. Ricky King, Scott Tomko, Greg Garcia on the podium this morning. Glad you're all in.
What did he tell us? When we first went to work with Magic 95.9, he didn't know what to make of us, and we didn't really know what we were doing.
Not really.
But he told us two things. He goes, look, he literally said, look, gringos, I got two things for y'all. Don't be too hard on the Catholic Church.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember.
And don't talk about the wall. Remember, they did not want us to talk about the wall. And the wall brings me to something that I purposely told you. For those of you listening, Ash and I brief every morning. We downplay it. It does take some work to be this consistently mediocre. And I want to share with you that I made the decision this morning.
Zamfir is Romanian.
Not
checked.
Not to debrief with
Thanks,
Ash.
Marina.
Hi, Marina. I didn't want Ash to be thinking about what I'm going to ask him about. But I want to now ask you, sir, as someone who was born in Canada, as someone who emigrated to this great nation, went through the proper channels, abided by the rules in place, and earned, was not given, earned your American citizenship.
Yes.
What's your gut take on birthright citizenship? And I'll define it for you. Whether your parents came here on vacation, ooh, honey, I think it's time, and they dropped you on a bus in Detroit, or whether your mother dilated to a 10, swam across the Rio Grande and dropped you on the banks of the Rio Grande, or whether you were here on a work visa legally, your spouse became pregnant during that year, and you were just happened to be born here with no allegiance, no loyalty to this country, no earning of your citizenship, you are automatically given the golden ticket. Is that, in your opinion, what the framers of the Constitution had in mind about being an American?
No, because people didn't go on vacations to America back in the day. Were they illegally immigrating? I don't know.
You're on stolen land.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to grow a
but no,
nation
I
as
would-
well, right? They were trying to grow a nation.
Yeah, I would draw a difference that most people that come here on a work visa are hoping to stay.
Hope and change.
That
baby.
I know. They come here to work and they're hopeful they can change that visa into a green card and then a green card into citizenship. So I would say that's a difference.
So are their
I think-
kids deservedly, automatically American?
I would say so.
Okay.
But illegals, vacationers, and most vacationers, I don't think your kids most of them go home and they usually don't pursue it. But it would be open to them, I guess. But no, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think if you're born here of illegals,
then you're illegal.
then you're not a U.S. citizen. But that's not the way our rules are interpreted right now.
So in this case, if you're born here, mom and dad are both illegal. They both came in, bless their hearts. They were just seeking a better life, but they paid $15,000 and 8 years of indentured servitude to a cartel member, and they have, little Wani. All of a sudden, little Wani is automatically an American. I think that's a problem. I don't think that's good. But it is interesting and worth noting the Supreme Court has never ruled on this, has never been asked to rule on this, and that is coming soon. I think under this current, and this is not a put down to anybody, under the Biden administration, I think the Supreme Court would vote yes. That's birthright citizenship. Welcome to America. You got the golden ticket. Under Trump, same justices, I believe there's a really good chance that they strike it down and say you're not automatically an American. So, I don't know. I think there's been a real push, and I do think it's important in the long run. There's been a real push that Americans need to be pro-America. You need to actually care about the country. You can't come here and be a Guatemalan in America and be called an American. You need to be an American.
And if similar situation, just doing the AI thing, if you were in vacation in Mexico and you had a baby, the kid would be Mexican. You'd have to register the birth, but the kid would have Mexican citizenship or the rights to it.
There you go.
If you the same thing in Italy, no.
There you go.
They do not have birthright citizenship in Italy.
And
so simply being born in Italy during a vacation would not make the baby an Italian citizen.
And I think I'd rather be Mexican than Italian. How about that? How quick, just because my brain's bouncing all around this morning, mostly due to caffeine, I did not have any butt coffee. No. But I would take another sip. It did not offend. Just if it was aromatic, would that be? We'll go from there. East High School last night beat West High School in a baseball game. I want to tell you, and it's fitting that I was walking through the crowd and saw the great. Those of you that are anywhere near my age, to say great is not even a big enough superlative, but the great Alan Ramirez sitting in the stands.
How is Alan? I haven't seen him.
Alan
for
looks
year.
great. And by the way, as they have been married, Alan's got to have been married 40 years. And his wife still and absolutely looks 20 years younger than him. I can't figure it, which, my wife is. So I recognize that look. She looks 20 years younger than him, and I told him so, and he punched me. But Alan Ramirez was a childhood idol of mine. I wasn't, but 5 or 6 years behind him. But when he was a senior in high school, I'm in like the 6th grade, and Alan Ramirez was beyond a stud. You can go back to the Noel Delgados. You can go, Danny Goen and Don Oliver. These guys, they were legitimate. Warren Oliver, legit, big time. Ronnie Gant, big time baseball. Ronnie Thomas, big time baseball players came out of Victoria, Texas.
They went to Rice. So not only was he a good athlete, very, very
Smart guy. Alan Ramirez
then pitched for the Orioles.
had the all-time Southwest Conference strikeout record for years until Greg Swindell, arguably the greatest college pitcher ever. Skeens, Swindell, Bert Hooton. I mean, you're in that level
Ramirez.
of talent right there. Alan Ramirez. Anyway, so he was there. Coach Mike Smith was there. It was good to see Riverside Stadium literally packed. Cheerleaders were there. They had the inflatable stuff. I mean, they made a spectacle of it. And East won both of those games this week, but they were both very good games. I think what West can take from my neighbor and my friend Miles Chandler pitched a great game for West. But it just seemed to me, objectively, my kids graduated from East. My current kids, my younger two, they are involved in the West side of things. Wes Coley is one heck of a baseball coach. He gets it. And then when you can throw in, hey, Joaquin.
Morning, Joaquin.
His son, we often say the catcher is the coach on the field. It's like Courtney Boyce having Nolan as a quarterback. To have Wes's son, the catcher, he's already, I don't remember his first name, is it Kaysen? I think it is. Has already,
TCU? Is that the
has
one?
already signed with TCU. Just to have him as like your coach on the field. East was just that one click more crisp. It always felt like West was trying to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're both very fine schools, very fine programs and teams, and I can see both going fairly deep in the playoffs. I think of the two, I think two gritty games, I think it shows that, East is a better team this year. Greg Garcia's Café Dallas Nagas, which, that Nagas, the backside coffee. Yeah, thanks, Greg.
First State Bank Astros update. Astros dropped their season opener to the Angels, 3-0.
Yeah, Jennifer Rayburn says, and I'm just going to take a minute here, kind of lament. She says, Wes Coley is a good man. He's developing players into amazing young men, and that shows. When we went out, we always support, like, the Warriors Weekend, Field of Honor and all that. And to go out there and, Wes is the players are expected and somewhat, demanded. Saturday we will be placing flags, and the whole team is there. And that late in the season, that camaraderie, it shows. It matters. So
Your boy Mike Trout homered last night. Got the Angels on the board, and then they never looked back.
Astros
Good pitchers duel until the 7th.
First State Bank of Louise, Astros minute. Astros lose 3-0. Hunter Brown had 9 strikeouts, looked super strong, as you would expect him to look.
Yep, did not get the loss.
Did not get the loss, really pitched well. Texas Rangers lose 5-3 to the Philadelphia Phillies. I didn't look at any of the data on the game. The Astros, I had that feeling. Jose Altuve nearly beat out 2 infield hits, but didn't.
The Astros only had 3 hits.
Yeah, they just, we don't ever get excited. Baseball is such a long season. Yeah, I'd be happier if we were 1-0, but I think the Astros did just fine. By the way, who was the pitcher for the Angels?
Starting pitcher?
Yeah.
Soriano.
Let me tell you something. Soriano was dealing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Hunter
Patrick-
Brown had over 100 pitches
He
and
did
went
throw a lot
4
of pitches.
2/3.
But Soriano, I don't know. He was throwing something that would come into a right-handed hitter and really kind of die low and away. And I don't know if it was a slide. I guess it was a slider, or what do they call it?
Slurve.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Whatever he was doing, these guys were swinging over the top of it, and it's almost like when you were watching it from the center field camera, the camera where they used to steal pitches,
Yep.
you could watch and go, why did he swing at that? I mean, it ends up in the dirt. Well, out of the hand, it looks like a meat fastball. And that guy's a heck of a pitcher, Soriano. So,
Yeah, he is their ace. I mean, on a team that was terrible last year, he was 10-11.
I found it interesting that in his first at-bat, Mike Trout singled Ash, and then he stole second. Now, he's a guy that, to me, is historically injured.
Well, he has been lately.
But I just thought it was interesting that at 30 what?
31, maybe?
Is that all he is?
Yeah, I don't think he's
Goodness,
that
it
old.
seems like he's been there forever.
Going to fact check that.
We're going to fact check ourselves. Cody's building a website for somebody on our time.
34. Okay,
34.
a little older than I thought. Yeah.
Cody,
So,
I'm going to the Cody cam just because. There he is. Look, y'all can watch Cody work. He's
I'm
working
ready
for someone
to
else.
fact check anything you need.
He's awfully defensive on a Friday morning.
Y'all just did it. What could I do?
Trout homered. I mean, if you're an Angels fan, you got to be happy with what you got out of Mike Trout yesterday for the season opener.
Yeah,
'Cause
home run, single,
may
stole
not
a
be there for
base.
the rest of the year.
He plays 40 great games a year, and yeah, boy. Oh, something else I saw though. You didn't get to watch the game.
I did not.
Yordan Alvarez hit, but you hear the word towering and Yordan go together. If anybody else had hit this home run, we would call it, it would have been unbelievable. What he did was he hit a ball that was just smoked, but it was so high that out in the outfield, it hit one of the rafters and caromed O.B. Wright. So he pulled it down the right field line. It hit a girder, and it bounced foul and still came down in the outfield stands, but to the right of the foul pole. And Major League umpires, I mean, it's such a rarity because the roof was open. And,
Was it?
And it was still, he hit it out there that they had to confer, and they all agreed it was inbounds at the time that it hit the girder, but it was hooking, and they can't confirm that unequivocally it would have been a home run. But had it not hit the girder and had it stayed fair, it would have landed in the upper deck. He
So
hit
what they
it-
rule it? Dead
he-
ball and a double?
a strike.
A strike foul.
And then he swung at something and missed, and it changes the game. It changes the game. So,
Yep. And they lose 3-0.
yep,
Back at it tonight.
no doubt. Ricky King says Altuve almost hit a home run. It was ruled a foul as well. So
Larry Schilling, good morning. Andrew Alvarez checking in. David Glass, Greg Garcia, P. Strauss, Jennifer Rayburn, Joaquin Ramon, Kathleen Leininger, Monty Howard, Linda Chris, Sherry Jacobs, Justin Glass, Brad Mitchell, Scott Snow, good morning. Heather Stewart, Marina checking in, Tammy Keeling, Stephanie Connie, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins. Good morning, everybody. We're glad you're all here. Thanks for joining us. Everybody that listens in on the No Bull Network, we're glad you're with us as well.
call us anytime at 894-4020. The number is right there in the bottom of the screen.
So Iran has 10 more days now. That takes into what? Easter?
Roughly.
Said that the 5 days progress had been made in talks with Tehran, so says, you know what, we're going to give you 10 more days.
And President Trump says that Iran gave us a quote-unquote present in the form of 10 tankers of oil. My spidey senses are tingling that maybe things aren't going as knocked down easy as Donald Trump thought they were going to go. That maybe he thought, we'll make this proposal, they will accept it because I'm Donald Trump. And I think there's a chance that right now he's saying, well, I'll give you 10 more days, when they're saying, kiss our fanny.
Well, this is what I'm hearing is the problem. Along the Strait of Hormuz, lots of cliffs and lots of mountains. And I've read some articles where that is where the Iranians have sort of built their armory.
Right.
And it would be a very, very tough job to eradicate their armaments along there if they decided to really get serious and just completely attack every ship that went into the Strait of Hormuz. It'd be like scaling the cliffs at Normandy again.
But you can also see why it's important that no one country had that ability to completely control the world's shipping. The U.S. has already struck over 10,000 military targets in Iran, more than that when combined with Israel. I find it interesting that during this 10 days, the thing that nobody's talking about, including the Trump administration, is that there is an intense buildup going on of U.S. military personnel available to be deployed on the ground in Iran.
Well,
there's already 10,000 troops in
and
position to go into Iran.
some pundits were saying that that was part of the reason, or that may be the reason for the 10-day pause, is to get more troops. in the
Let's we
region.
get 50,000 troops over there, and we'll just go through. And I don't know if the death number still sits at 13. I don't know. I know that those folks certainly have not died in vain, and I do believe that the president is committed to that not being the case. I think they're going to – I don't think Iran has seen the worst of what's coming. I think it's fixing to it's still 13.
According to, the Gerald Ford limping over to Greece for repairs. I guess there was a fire in the laundry room. Pretty much destroyed all the birthing areas, so they've been sleeping on the floors.
Is there a chance that that's is there a chance? I know there's a chance. What's the likelihood that that's misinformation? What's the likelihood that an Iranian missile or something hit the Gerald Ford? Well, we've got some backed up toilets, which is one thing they've said. We've got some
That's
backed
been a
up
problem with
toilets
that ship since it deployed in 17.
and a fire over in the old laundry room. We're going to go to Greece and fix this thing. I mean, it's nice that we've got enough carriers in the region that it doesn't affect our effort. But it's a $13 billion aircraft carrier with no doubt $500,000 toilets on it.
Yeah. But no, the fire broke out earlier this month, so I think
More
before it
than
even got
200 sailors received medical aid for smoke inhalation. The fire lasted more than 30 hours. Can we get a sprinkler system on our $20 billion aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
There's plenty of water. Pump it in there and put the fire out. Was there a protocol breach? Why does it take, it's like a smoldering flame.
I'm guessing with all the smoke and the fire took so long, I bet you all the mattresses caught fire. They had to borrow 1,000 mattresses from the USS John F. Kennedy, according to the U.S. Naval Institute.
Man.
I didn't think they would carry that many mattresses extra.
I got one for you. I got one just because it ties into what I do for a living. Something you don't think about happening, but I'm going to encourage you folks to think about. Our friends at White Trash Services had a trash truck catch on fire 2 days ago. The unit will hold, those big trash trucks?
Yep.
4 tons of garbage.
Okay.
Well, and it's packed in there really tight. Guy got back to the shop 8, 9 o'clock at night. Somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, they get the notification. Of course, they've got cameras and alarm systems and all that. Got notice that this trash truck is on fire, smoldering. They go over there and do what anybody would do. They purge the truck of the garbage and then put it all out right there on the truck. But 4 tons of garbage. And it's now, we're still investigating, but could it have been a cigarette butt somebody inadvertently, accidentally put into their trash? Or they're saying that a lithium-ion battery, I don't know if it's like a battery gets up against a piece of aluminum foil and it arcs or something. You've got to figure trash in general is a pretty good fuel.
I would think.
For
And
a
those
fire.
batteries can get very, very hot.
Yeah. So you got that going on.
That's why you can't pack them in your luggage anymore, because they've been known to cause fires in cargo holds of airplanes as well. So,
Yeah. Which at that point, just jettison all the luggage, right? Good luck with that.
oh, just take a first break. Let's take a first break. We got to pay some bills.
There you go.
White trash, sign up. Oh, did the volunteer fire department have to come out and help them?
They
with that?
did actually,
There you
and did
go.
a great job on that, as
there
they
you go.
always do.
And that is why they are giving back to volunteer fire departments in their service region. So sign up. You got a few more days.
Yeah. You sign up for a 1, 2, or 3 year agreement.
They give $25, $50, or $100 to a volunteer fire department.
Absolutely. White trash constantly giving back. The Nelsons are just fantastic friends. And I think, humbly, when we started out, they were giving back. They really were. They recognized the value of the format of the forum that we provide. Good morning, Crystal Map. And I think now we actually provide them, especially with the No Bull Network, the Calhoun, Atascosa, B, Frio, Jim Hogg, all, cumulative No Bull Network. We provide them an actual advertising bonus. Chesnick Furniture invites you to come in this weekend. Maybe you need a new bed. You ever wonder why your mattress weighs 500 pounds? It's because you sweat,
Had it for 15 years.
oil, other bodily fluids, gross,
Dander.
skin flakes, bed mites. Get rid of that old thing.
Dust.
Chesnick will show up, bring you a brand new king size mattress. They
Absolutely.
got Stearns and Foster, Sealy Posturepedic, Tempur-Pedic. That covers all the variations of mattresses out there now. And they'll haul off that old one for free. The Chopping Block inviting you in this weekend. They've got fillets on sale. You deserve.
$12 fillets.
I mean, when a hamburger now costs $12, you might as well have a steak.
Absolutely.
Come on in to the Chopping Block and get what you
Or go
want.
get some wings and throw them in your air fryer this weekend.
That's right. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. This weekend's a great time to go in with the family, play a little bingo. You can laugh, yuck it up, and have a good time. The food is great at the L&L Grill. I don't know why they get a free plug.
I don't
But
either.
it is great.
Should we go next Thursday?
That's up to you. What's the date?
April 2nd?
I see no reason not to.
All right. There you go. Waiting Carter Bingo night. April
There
2nd.
You have it. So plan on it. Wade and Carter Bingo on April 2nd. I'm excited. Let's
I
go
am
back.
too.
We got so much to talk about.
What else we want to talk about this
Can't
morning?
wait. You've got that news all came from, where is that right there? That's not
The
CNN.
one,
is
the one
it?
that we were just on?
Yeah, I just wanted to know where we're. Just to give our little source there.
That was the time. That was the Epic Times.
Epic Times.
Yeah.
Get something from the New York Times. We have to counter it out with something from a liberal rag.
Where did this one go? There we go. Many of you may remember the Lover's Lane murder in Houston in 1990. Two young 22 and 21-year-old Cheryl Henry and Andy Atkinson left a club, went to a part of Houston known as Lover's Lane where they were canoodling with each other, and apparently got, she was tortured and raped. He was strung up to a tree, and then his throat was slit after being tortured.
Says evidence from the crime scene led investigators to believe the suspect might have known her. I'm going to bet it was an old disgruntled boyfriend.
That'd be a good choice, but here we are, how many years later,
That would be 36, Bob.
and Floyd William Parrott, 64 years old, has been arrested and charged with the murders of Cheryl Henry and Andy Atkinson.
So he was 36 at the time when they were in their 20s.
He was living in Lincoln, Nebraska, and was arrested on Wednesday and is being extradited to Houston. They had a lot of DNA from originally, and they preserved it, but apparently the advances in DNA technology, and credit the cold case officers in Houston for keeping up with this, because they kept going back. I read a pretty good story on this last week, and they kept going, or yesterday, and they kept going back and testing the DNA as advances came about in DNA testing, and finally were able to find a match. And
it
I think they
appears,
have something.
are we saying that he was also connected to another sexual assault?
That I don't know.
I thought it says, okay. Several years later, authorities matched the DNA from the Lovers Lane murders to an unsolved sexual assault that also occurred in 1990.
There you go.
So they've got this guy is like maybe a serial rapist, if you will. How about that? The DNA National Database. Wow. So I don't know anything about this Mr. Parrott, but for him to think that he got away with it and the fact that DNA caught him, good for him. Hi, David Ballard. Good morning.
Yep.
Sheriff Louderback. Awesome.
Justin Richter asked what we heard on Fox News about the 90-year-old vet pushed into a subway by an illegal that had been deported 5 times. I've not heard that one.
No. Well, he said there was a question, though. Question is, how do they keep getting in? As the Biden administration. I mean, he didn't come in under Trump. So it's the Biden administration. They had an open door policy that nobody yet has really put. Everybody's so quick to go, we spent all this money on this war. What about free health care? Nobody wants to put a real price on the true cost of illegal immigration.
Well, because we gave them all promises to appear.
They ain't coming.
And they never did.
Would you? I mean, think about it. If you came in and got caught, but your 2/3 of your party made it out into the Arizona desert and they got to Phoenix, and you got caught at the border, and they said, you got some explaining to do. You have here's your date to appear. It's next July, around the 15th. You need to report. Yes, sir. I'll be there.
Yeah.
There's no chance you snuck into the country illegally. I would bet that nobody ever has shown back up and gone, I'm here. Let's talk about me being here illegally. I mean, the best thing that's going to happen to you is they're going to deport you.
And when they didn't deport you and they just let you go with a promise to appear, and you were already going to take your chances to live in anonymity and under the radar in this country anyway by coming here illegally, why would you show up to court?
Question for you, sir.
Yes.
When you say anonymity, why does it make me think of aluminium?
I don't know.
Okay.
What else would it be?
They're both Canadian.
That's A. Sorry.
No, we never said aluminium in Canada.
No, that's English, isn't it?
Yep.
Which is not, it's not even spelled that way, and they still
I think
say
it was. I think they got rid of an I.
Knuckleheads.
There's David Ballard checking in, John Anderson, Kathleen Leininger.
If they spend half as much time on their dental care as they do on butchering the English language, it'd be a better country for everybody. England, just proving every day that they're somewhat inconsequential these days. Now that they don't control the seas anymore, now that they're not the world's preeminent navy, they just don't really have much to offer.
83-year-old vet, and apparently died from his injuries after being pushed onto the subway tracks. Baron Posada Hernandez, 15 prior charges, and the feds are having to urge New York not to release him.
Yeah. Well, that's Mondani. You know, he must have voted for Mondani, so.
Yeah, this is from Fox.
People like that ought to just be shot. I don't know why justice in this country has become such a process that goes on and on and on. I mean, you have 15, 20 appeals, stays of execution. Take that guy out back, pop a cap in him. Next. It's time to move on.
Apparently, Richard Williams, a retired Air Force pilot, died March 17th after he and another man were pushed onto the tracks at the Lexington Avenue 63rd station. The guy was arrested on March 10th.
So here's an 83-year-old veteran, probably flew in Vietnam, maybe? I don't know. Dies in a subway station because an illegal pushes him. Reminds me of the guy that stabbed the illegal that stabbed the young immigrant in the neck for no reason. She was from Romania, I believe.
Russia, I thought, but could be wrong.
Isn't that Romania? Help me, Nadia Comaneci.
John Pena was the other man pushed onto the tracks and apparently helped pull the veteran back onto the platform just before the train rolled into the station.
They want him to go to a Venezuelan prison, which they say is the worst place he could go. Did you see where Venezuela
And he's where is he from?
has promoted the idea? Probably Venezuela, right? They said, I want him to go to the Venezuela
Well, that's 'cause
prison.
I think because they're taking him. I don't know where he's from. He's a Honduran.
He's a Honduran.
Trying to see what is. He's been deported 4 times.
DHS called him a serial criminal.
That's what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what his criminal record is.
I don't know. Why isn't he dead?
I don't know. Simple assault, domestic violence, obstruction of police, possession of a weapon, drug possession, aggravated assault.
He's just
So this
trying to
guy's
get his
violent
life
to
right.
begin with. And he was deported in 2020 under Trump. Unclear when he re-entered the U.S. for a 5th time. Well, sometime between 2020 and now.
Man.
Jesus.
Hello, Carl Went. You know why those Hondurans don't cause any trouble around here?
They don't stick around?
No, they might get stuck around if they do it around here.
We don't have a subway?
Better point. We do have a tragic public transportation system. Nobody looks into the waste involved in that. It's too easy to close one eye and just feel so benevolent that those people who you don't know have a reasonably priced ride around Victoria. Problem is, it's a multi-million-dollar financial drain on our community that really benefits no one. But we're going to look into that. You can bet that's coming. We're going to have some real hard numbers and some tough discussions with our city leadership. This is one of those 80-20 deals, Ash, where, the government's paying 80% of it, but our 20 is a couple of milli for nothing. The lunacy of our urban transportation, it only runs from 8 to 5. So if you need it for a ride to get to work at, say, 8, well, you're out of luck or you're late every day. Yeah. And if you need a ride home, you've got to leave work early every day. That's what keeps people impoverished. Very interesting and a complete waste of taxpayer dollars.
Group of residents now suing Port Arthur residents now suing Valero, saying that the explosion at the refinery on Monday damaged their property and could affect their health. One worker claimed he was injured by the explosion, seeking more than $1 million in damages.
Well, good luck for him, right? Unless you can come in and say, okay, I get it, the residents want to sue Valero. Okay, that's fine. The residents don't tell you that their property taxes are among the lowest in the world because of, Valero. So I would tell them to pound sand and move. The second thing is the worker who claims he was injured, go there and click on that. All right. So what you're looking at there is a standard work comp claim. That guy has no legs to stand on unless he can say that Valero pretty much knowingly created. So right here, Valero says an unforeseeable release of process fluid is what caused the problem. Well, unless you can say that Valero was egregious and created an unsafe work environment, it's very difficult to sue them under their general liability. You get into what they call an action over. So you've got work comp. I'm going to take my action over work comp and go to the GL. Very unlikely that this gentleman will get $1 million for isn't it funny how casually we just throw that? No, what are your injuries? $1 million. Thomas J. Henry told me my injuries were $1 million.
I wanted the Texas Hammer.
Texas Hammer.
Well, he only deals with 18-wheelers, I think.
Sheriff Louderback, I know you're listening. We need all kinds of lawsuit reform in this great state. Texas needs to be the leader. I have no problem absolutely holding employers accountable, but the marketplace does that as well. It is time, and by the way, the insurance marketplace does that very well. These claims affect, Brian Small, I said he had no legs to stand on, and Brian says, if that's the case, he probably has a case. Yeah. Jennifer Rayburn comes in with a polite counter comment. I know a transit client, and it significantly enriches her life. I'm also aware directly of other riders who have benefited as well. Jennifer, I'll tell you that for the 20% our city pays to keep that garbage program afloat, we could send a black Suburban for your friends free of charge. Give them a free ride to where they need to go and have a much more enriched and beneficial relationship. There is no magic in having short buses driving around town, taking up space, stopping randomly, homeless people sleeping.
They don't stop randomly. They stop at bus stops.
Well, which are just stupid. It's a stupid, stupid program. We're too big a city to be little, and we're too little to be big, and we just don't need it. So I'm glad that you know a couple of people that need a ride. Tell them to call me and let the city give me the 20% they spend on this garbage. By the way, just another example.
I rode the buses growing up in Calgary all over the place.
Just another example of a place. Well, Calgary's a little bit bigger city, isn't it?
Yep.
Just asking. It's another example of a place where a mayor could make a difference. Could make a difference.
Not under the way the city's managed.
I think if you had the right guy that was raising hell about it, something might get done. In fact, you might get something done right here. It's a waste of money. Sales tax court props it up. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. For what? So the couple of folks can have an enriched life. Buy them a car. Heck. Just buy them a car instead.
Probably cheaper.
It would be cheaper. There's no doubt about it. I see the buses all the time. I challenge you to look at them. Find a rider. There's always a driver, never a rider. Andy Rogovich says we really should consider having a strong mayor system in Victoria. Even as somebody that wanted to be mayor, I totally disagree. We're much better off.
You want it until you get the wrong mayor.
That's right. We've had some clowns for mayor. If you had Paul Pulasic in a strong mayor system, you'd never get anything done in this town.
Wait, we didn't anyway.
That's right.
Because we didn't have a very good city manager at the
Under
time.
his leadership, clown show.
What else is happening in the world today? Trump has decided to sign an executive order to pay TSA agents who have not had a paycheck since mid-February.
That's a big deal. I mean, it's not their fault that the government,
The Democrats
shut down the Department of Homeland Security. The Democrats who care so much, Chuck Schumer isn't foregoing his check.
More than 3,100 TSA agents apparently called out on Wednesday, according to the Epoch Times. They haven't been paid in weeks. Can they collect unemployment during this time?
No,
because they're not. They're just not getting paid. They're still working, right?
They'll get it made up.
Well,
they'll
they
get
will.
their money back.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear they arrested that lady that was sitting at the plant for 39 days or something now?
Oh, that lady's a nut. She's a complete nut.
Hunger strike for 25 or something like that.
That's
Yeah, but I think it's like a modified hunger strike, like she can only eat in the morning or something. I've seen her. It didn't hurt her any to go without a meal. Cody, do us a favor. Find that lady, and let's get her on the program.
I think she's in jail.
Oh, come on. Let's get her out of jail first.
Should be real easy to find her.
We will get her out of jail.
There's a big building.
Yeah.
She's in there.
But she's not in jail here, though. She's in jail in Calhoun County, right?
That would be my assumption.
I would
Yeah, I
think
believe so.
We'll make a few calls. We'll get her out of jail.
Smaller, big building.
Get her on the program, and let's just talk to her. She's a complete nut. It's crazy. The science, if you have to follow the science, I've gone to the meetings. I took the time for y'all to go down to Port Lavaca, to go to the Bauer Center, to sit through the Army Corps of Engineers explanation of the proposed deepening and widening of the Point Comfort, the ship channel down there. It's a nothing burger. It's not going to hurt the environment. The places that they've identified, the very small, very localized places that they've identified, like Mercury, which is absolutely Alcoa's fault. It's not Calhoun County's fault. They've already figured out how to dredge that and add it to a Superfund site that already exists. It's a nothing deal.
I mean, she's done some good. She exposed what Formosa was doing, dumping pellets into the bay.
And at the same time,
And all we did was fine them a paltry sum that
$50 million
just
or
laughed
something.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a, you know.
when you profit what, $6 billion and
I think it was $1 billion profit, and they charged them $50 million in a fine. And honestly, if you're Formosa, you just say, well, that's a 5% tip out. Okay. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Right.
You say to yourself, well, I netted $1 billion.
Yeah.
I'll settle with $950. The thing is, I think the emphasis is, and by the way, they let Formosa decide where to spend the money. It's Formosa Park or something. You know, it's like they get the good news out of it. They act like this lady got
I think
the
that
money.
was over and above, but
Yeah, she didn't get anything.
no.
But the pellets, I mean, I'm not saying they don't hurt anything, but when you're putting out billions and billions and billions of pellets a month, if you go find a few floating along the bay, here's what
I
happens.
think a few's not a problem. I believe they were found guilty of discharging them into the bay.
Well, what happens is you've got kind of a berm around Formosa to contain things. And when it rains,
they do
it
now.
turns into kind of a lake. And as you can imagine, they're loading these train cars from above, these hoppers. Every now and then the wind's going to catch a pellet and knock it over on the ground. And the next thing you know, when it rains, they pump the water out. And when they pump the water out, the pellets go with it. I happen to know a guy that's working on that filtration system. It's extremely expensive. A good investment, needs to be done, but, you know.
When you make $1 billion,
That's right.
what's expensive?
That's
$100
If
million?
it costs $100 million, it's worth doing because then it gets the crazy lady to eat a taco.
Apparently, the Senate has voted to end most of the DHS, fund most of DHS in a bid to end this partial government shutdown. They would not fund ICE or Border Patrol, but does restore funding for federal airport security workers. They voted on that, I guess, yesterday, and the House is expected to take it up today.
Is it odd?
They voted
to you,
early this morning, actually. There you go. The Senate was up early.
Is it odd to you how quickly we become desensitized? Because, like, this is actually an important government shutdown, and nobody really cares. Yeah. They really don't. Nobody really cares. And on top of that, those of us that travel, it's giving me zero anxiety. I guess it should. I mean, I'm getting ready to get on a plane in a couple of weeks, and I'm just not worried about it.
Well, because you're not traveling right now during spring break.
True.
Although I've talked to people who've traveled, and they're like, I haven't seen the 4-hour lines.
No, well, if you fly out of Victoria's wonderful airport, you don't see those lines. It's like, hey. Now, I'm excited my upcoming trip. I'm going to leave here on the 20-seat, roughly 20, 22, whatever it takes. The 20-seat plane, the CRJ, the regional
300?
jet, going on that, it's a 2200 they call it, or 220. But I'm coming back on the 500 or the 550. I'm coming back on the new 50-seater jet that's coming into Victoria.
Nice.
Now, what I think is best about that, the bigger aircraft, is a more reliable platform. So that's good.
Those Bombardier jets are pretty reliable.
Oh, super
anyway.
nice. They make
Assaults,
Sea-Doo, so it's
Yeah.
got to be good.
assaults on TSA officers since the shutdown have surged more than 500%. Grow up, people.
Well,
You know there's
traveling
going
is
to be
stressful.
delays. Get there earlier.
Yeah. But and define assault. Verbal? Did they bump into one? Did they shove
probably
them?
physical.
You know. Well, how about that? The Olympics got it right. They bar biological males from women's events. Is it not unfathomable that we have to have this conversation? I mean, that's the whole issue. That's how the terrorists win. That's how the left has made you so numb that we're all like, attaboy. If you're a dude, you can't play in women's events. Awesome. Why is that awesome? You can't drive a motorcycle in the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, keep that internal combustion engine out of Churchill Downs. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Coming into the turn at Secretariat, he's overtaken by the 1997 Harley Davidson. I mean, it's just the dumbest thing ever. There should never have been men playing in women's sports. They have feelings. They want to play. Well, go start you a little tranny league. Get all your other mind-numb idiot friends. Put your skirts on and play field hockey.
Nobody wants to do it because there's no money in it. Nobody wants to watch that.
That's right. It's like the WNBA.
The NAI banned transgender athletes 3 years ago.
And by the way, we had the commissioner of the NAIA
President of the NAI.
on this program on the day that vote was taken. The day after.
Day after to discuss it. The NCAA now facing calls to adopt a similar policy because apparently they're a little bit slow to the party.
The NCAA has got to be, top to bottom, the worst organization in the history of college athletics, of any athletics. It's just become and devolved into this self-serving behemoth of revenue and distribution that has nothing to do with positive outcomes for college athletes. Prove me wrong.
No, the D1 athletics is nowhere near what college athletics began as, what it is intended to be. And now they're trying to carve out pieces just for the revenue sports, football and basketball, and find ways to keep the Olympic sports out of this proposed House settlement. I mean, or to avoid having it's a mess at the D1 level.
Brian Small says the tranny league might want to sponsor the Wade and Carter show. I could have a whole different outcome depending on the number of zeros in their sponsorship.
There's some things that can't be bought.
This is true. I'll tell you, we've avoided this, I think, for obvious reasons, but I want you folks to know I'm getting real close. I mean, I just need another day or two of preparation, and I think it's very fitting. I'm going to be gone next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm getting real close to coming unwound on Texas A&M Victoria. It's so close. I've been very pro A&M Victoria. I do see that no offense to anybody that ever worked at UHV, but A&M is an upgrade. It just is. Better school system, bigger name. It takes away the stigma of commuter university. It brings people, if you're in Shiner, Yoakum, Hallettsville, you are low-hanging fruit. I can recruit your kids to be here, part of the Texas A&M system. But the inner workings, the clear and obvious lack of direction, the unforgivable stupidity of some of the decisions that have been made, the total bastardization of timing, things that make no sense, are just about to get to the top of my list. And when they do, when I come to you prepared, A&M, I know you listen. You better have somebody ready to answer the questions. because when they come, they're not going to get good. Scott Tomko says, finally get the inside story. I've got the inside story. I've talked to athletic department people, multiple. I've talked to classroom professors, multiple. The dishevelment, the lack of confidence, the complete lack of sharing of any discernible vision. Here's why we're doing this. No, we're just doing this.
Nothing's really changed, to be honest.
It is Alan John Anderson, but it's just ALAN. My parents kept it simple.
That's the $1 million question, Brian Small. Why did they can the golf coach? With a month ago, a guy that had that, and I'll give you a little skinny on this because I hired him. Administrative delays did not allow me to get a coach in here in a timely manner last spring. Red tape, dragging feet on decisions. So I hired Alex Acosta, a very good coach, had a great track record at junior college of winning.
And was
at a program,
willing to do it.
Yeah, at a program that was underfunded, where he was, and came to a program that's underfunded. Didn't get here till August. Brought some kids with them to play. Was recruiting on our behalf, even before he was officially hired. And he and I sat with a girl almost, I think, the second day he got here. We spent about a half a day with her, and she was committed. And then the next day she called and said, "Oh, I don't want to come." And the women's golf team didn't quite have the numbers. Part of the reason for that is the girls we had on the hook last spring, when administration dragged their feet in hiring, they decommitted because they didn't want to come to a bunch of uncertainty, because when they call and ask, what's the status on the coach, I had to tell them honestly, because I'm not going to lie to them, I don't have an update for you because I haven't given permission to hire a coach yet, or even the process to begin the search for the coach. So they left. So then we had a freshman leave at the break in December, and there's 3 women on the golf team. And so we don't have enough to participate as a team, but they could still participate as individuals at the conference championship. So there's the background there. And then yesterday, Alex was fired or let go.
But
And
here's
I
the
don't
deal.
know why.
You still have golf season left in the
Yes.
year.
And there's no assistant golf coach because budget cuts a couple years ago, when they cut 60 some odd positions at the university, one of the casualties was the assistant golf coach position.
Scott Tompkins says, so the board is the issue? No, it's not the board. I mean, it starts
There is
with
no
Christian
board here.
Hardigree. She's the czar. She clearly has the ability to hire and fire. But what gets me is, and I'm not talking out of school, I know Lindsay. I know the women's softball coach. The idea, I mean, and all I've ever heard is just, oh, I'm so busy, and I've just got so much going on. And she does. And she has success on the field. That doesn't make her an athletics director. That doesn't mean that she's going to be up to speed on compliance on baseball. That doesn't mean that she's qualified, but she apparently is the person that decided to fire the golf coach. I would have gone, whoa.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. But
She's the one that delivered the message.
She's the
on that.
athletic director. It's like, cool your jets. You've got 2 months left in school. The gentleman had already informed you politely that he was going to consider other jobs at the end of the year. He didn't quit coaching on you. They decided, well, let's just cut him loose now. Why? Because we have such a great environment. If I'm a golf
They'd
coach,
agree to let him stay through this semester.
if I'm a golf coach somewhere else, I'm going to say, well, why would I come down there? I can report to the softball coach and be underneath a lady that her experience in athletics involved managing an intramural program. Athletically, folks, athletically, A&M Victoria is an utter clown show. And I'm telling you, remember this. Jonathan Stavanoa is as fine a baseball mind as there is in this region. I guarantee you he's got somebody looking for him another job right now. Book it. No doubt
He's
about
had
it.
people looking for him since the day he got here.
He stayed here. because of his relationship with Ash. It's just a fact. You're going to find out. You're going to find out. And I guarantee you the same thing. I know there is vast uncertainty among the teaching ranks. Vast uncertainty. Am I the next? Is the hammer going to drop on me next?
Oh, the culture there has gone.
The culture
I've
has
talked to a lot
gone
of
into the
employees still
toilet.
there, and there's uncertainty, and yeah, it's not good. It's not good right now internally over there.
And Andrew Alvarez, you're exactly right. I get it. New management comes in, you want a clean house. That's fine, but be transparent about
That's
it.
a D1 model for athletics. That's not an understanding
work
of
in
how
a small town.
college athletics works.
She's in over her head. We'll talk about that with more facts later. Folks, it's the end of the week. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. Hey, take public transit. Go somewhere and tell your spouse, I'm just going to get on this next little short bus that comes along, and let's just see where I end up. Y'all be safe and have a good weekend.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.